Good morning from Jonesboro, Arkansas, 6:58 a.m., May 31st, 2023. And I'm going to talk about this car lot again. Y'all probably think I own stock in it or something, but I don't. But the thing is, it's the closest hybrid and electric car sales specialist to my house that I know of, 4 hours away. And I'm really into electric cars, as you know, so I keep an eye on him. I look at his site every few days. And I think there's a very good chance my next car will come from this dealership. Just a good chance, maybe not. But anyway, we went down there recently and we test drove 3 cars. All 3 of these cars sold within days after we drove them. But I hear that cars aren't selling. Dealers are having to hold on to them. It could be that I only drive the cool cars and people want them. I don't know. That's not the case. But look at this. One was the long range. This one right here, a Tesla for under 20,000. That's hard to find. Had 130,000 miles. It sold the weekend after we drove it, just a few days after. But that's not mainly what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the other 2 mainly. Beautiful car. I love those black rims. One hand, I regret not buying it. The other, I'm glad I didn't buy it. Because one, I don't have $20,000 cash. I could have paid a pretty good down payment, but I was not going to pay 9.8% interest. I didn't know that when I looked at it, but 9.8% and my credit score is pretty high. And if it had been newer, it had been 7%, which still seems ridiculous. So don't pay attention to those. And here's another one. BMW i3. Love this car. Huge problem. These tires. Everybody that owns them that talk about these tires say they last 20 to 25,000 miles. That's a big, big negative. But I still, because my wife loved it and I loved it, still might have bought it. Even that's the biggest negative of this car, in my opinion, of these tires. And like Chip said, the dealer, he showed me how good these tires are. They were in great condition, because if he won't sell a car with bad tires, he'll put new tires on if he has to. But it's still, the fact remains, they're still only going to last 20 to 25,000 miles, and we probably put 13,000 miles a year on the car, 12 to 14,000. You're talking about replacing tires every year and a half to 2 years. But still an incredible car. And he had this car for a while. I don't know how long. I really don't. I usually look at the Carfax and see, just out of curiosity. I can't remember. It's always possible he took it to the auction. I wouldn't know because I have no inside information. But he either took it to the auction or he sold it. I'm hoping he sold it. I truly do. Because I want him to succeed. I want everybody to succeed, no matter what their business, as long as your business is morally acceptable. I especially want you to succeed if you're selling plug-in and electric cars. And we drove this one too. The Fiat 500e, if you can find one in good condition, which is, most of them are in good condition, is such a fantastic deal because they are one of the cheaper short-range electric cars out there. And they qualify for the rebate of 30% or up to $4,000 depending on your income. This car would have cost us about $7,500 after our tax rebate. And we go a lot farther than the i3. He sold it too. He only had this car a couple of weeks, I'm thinking. About 2 weeks. The last time he had a Fiat 500e, he sold it very quickly. Look at this. BMW i3 Frunk. Pitiful. That is absolutely pitiful. Chip called it a trash can. He said something like, that's not a frunk, that's a trash can. Yeah, BMW could have done so much better with this. They could. Look at that. And yeah, I know it can be washed out, but it's not waterproof. It's not weatherproof. It's just going to get dirt and grime in it. It's terrible. They could have done a better job. But I'd rather have this than nothing there. I'd figure out what to put there. Something. You know the reason they can do this? It's carbon fiber reinforced plastic reinforced carbon fiber. Anyway, carbon fiber and plastic mixed together. It's not 100% carbon fiber, but the frame around this area, it's got some carbon fiber in it. And that's one reason it's so expensive, so light, and so strong. I'm thinking this car weighs about 2,800 pounds, I think. Man, I love this car. Even with the tires, I still love this car. And I think 2019, they started making an S version, which stands for Sport. And there's not a whole lot of difference. The difference is that I can remember the tires are wider, which I'm hoping that means the tires will last longer. But the tires are a little bit wider. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think this is true. And there's a couple of little, oh yeah, also supposed to handle better. Well, if it handles better than this car, I'd love to drive it because this car handled phenomenally well, especially for a compact car. If you want a compact, smooth riding car, get you a BMW i3. And these tires are the big tires. I can't remember if it's 19 or 20 inch, but the cheaper version has smaller tires, and they say they even rides even smoother. My daughter said this blue strip looks like the protective strip you find on stuff that hasn't been pulled off yet. You know, you buy something new and it has that protective film. She said you have to pull that off, but that's not what that is, of course. There's the inside of it. This wood dash was way more beautiful than it actually was. I mean, actually it looks here. It was beautiful. But I wanted to say he sold all 3 cars we drove within a week or so after we drove them. And so I'm hoping that it's not true that cars aren't selling. And look at this. I wanted to talk about this since I took these pictures. 2008 to 2015 Toyota Prius hybrid battery replacement. See, not only does he sell cars, but he also repairs them. Certain ones. He told me which ones he won't repair, which electrics, and I can't remember, but I think maybe Ford or... I better not say, because there's 1 or 2 he won't repair because he doesn't have the equipment. I think it's what he said. Don't quote me on that. But look at this. The dealer, according to him, wants $3,938 biggins plus installation. That's just for the parts. Other rebuilders, $2,195 installed. I have no idea who other rebuilders are. But look what he charges, $1,100. If you have a 2014, 2015, even 2008 Prius, and the battery is shot, why take it to the junkyard? $1,100. If that's all that's wrong with it, that's a whole lot cheaper than replacing it. Just, you have to probably ship it to this guy because if the battery is shot, it ain't going to start. But $1,100 to fix it? Yeah, I'd do that, no doubt. There's some more batteries. I think this is for the Vote, I think. Here we go. Yep, 2012 Chevrolet Vote, 18.4 kilowatt hours. I wonder if it's 2012 through 2015. Maybe the batteries are different because 2016 is when they changed everything. Dealer wants $15,000. That means if you have a 2012 Vote and you go to a dealer, your car is totaled. You might as well take it to the junkyard. Why pay $15,000 to fix a car? It's probably worth $10,000. Maybe $12,000 on a dealer lot, unless it's Carvana or CarMax, and it's $18,000, which is just ridiculous. Our cost to replace, $4,000. Again, 2012 Vote. Only thing wrong with the battery, replace it for $4,000. I'll pay the $4,000. That's way cheaper than replacing it. You know, if you like the car. But anyway, I'm glad he sold them. I'm glad he sold all 3. I wasn't going to buy. And this one, oh, yeah, this one I actually was going to buy. I was. But I didn't want to pay $600 for shipping. But that wasn't the real deal breaker. The real deal breaker, again, we could have paid a large down payment, but we're still going to have to pay 9.8% interest. I just wasn't going to do it. And with no more than we were going to finance, 9.8% wasn't much more than 7% or even 6%. But I just wasn't going to do it. It just felt wrong. That's not Chip's fault or, the guy that owns this car lot. It's not even the banker's fault. I'm not going to get into whose fault it is. This is a non-political channel. And if I did, half of y'all would disagree with me anyway, which is fine. If you find another dealership, do a search. You find a dealership that sells hybrid and electric cars closer to me, 4 to 5 hours away, 250 miles of Northeast Arkansas, let me know. I want to know about them. Like I said, this is the only one I know of and why I watch them closely. If you know one, let me know, and I will watch them as well. Because I can't imagine I'll ever go back to a gas car. I'm not saying I won't. I drove my son-in-law. I rode in my son-in-law's truck the other day. Man, I love trucks. I love trucks, but I just don't want a gas vehicle. And I am so far away from being able to afford an electric truck. So far away. I might as well be shooting for a $400,000 Rolls Royce or something. It's about the same ballpark with me. Here's what he's got on the lot now. I hope, or what he's got on the website. I hope he's going to the auction soon because he's getting a little short supply. These are good deals. These are really good deals. You would get 30% off. So let's take one and see. Now, the last time he had one, I know he sold for less than $10,000, or one I was watching closely. $76.93 is what either one of these would cost us. No, I have a 18 volt, which I'd rather have, but I keep thinking I might rather have one of these and a pocket full of money, because I can sell mine and get one of these, pay it off, and still have some cash, straight up cash, homie, as Randy Moss said once. This is a fairly new one. I wouldn't be interested in this, but somebody else might. And man, the Nissan Leaf is such a nice car. You know, I had one, and the heater, and I told Chip this, I said the heater quit working, the heat pump, with 6,000 miles on it. It just quit working. It's going to take 4 months to get the parts, and they wouldn't give me a loaner or a rental car. Heater and air conditioner wouldn't work with only 6,000 miles on the clock. But I told him, I said, I think it's a fluke, because I've never heard of it happening to anybody else. I've never seen anybody complain about the heat pump. You make enough of something, one of them's going to go bad sooner than it should. I think of just bad luck. But anyway, it's got a heat pump. I wouldn't be scared to buy another one with a heat pump, because I think I just got a bad deal. I don't think it's a problem with the car, but let me know if you heard otherwise. Love to have this, but doesn't qualify for the tax credit. None of these do. And man, this is such a good deal. Such a good deal. But anyway, all right, I'm going to shut up now. That's about all.